G'day everyone, welcome to another Billing Metals video. I'm Toby. Today I'm down in my little quartz mine. The last video I did in here, I'll put a link to that in the description. I was talking about cutting away this entire face of stone here, which I've started to do. It's all just mullock, but there's probably 30-40 hours worth of work in there. So I've gone a little bit deeper and found a reasonable amount more gold through this edge here. And I'll show you some of that coming out shortly. Before I do, I'm going to clean this face up here. I've cut along the reef. There's a bit of a fault running through here. I've cut down that and exposed a whole lot of quartz and some really interesting formations, really cool geology. I'll clean that up a bit and show you that shortly. So what I'm working here, the reef, you can see this face coming down here. That's the footwall. So the reef dips to the west. That way is south, north, west and east. That is literally the footwall of the reef as the reef dips down in that direction, and the hanging wall is what I've taken away, which you're viewing me through. So the reef under my feet, I'm standing on dugout footwall, and the reef is on that edge of the hole. So I'll bring you down and show you more of that very shortly. So what I'm basically doing is chiseling away down here. I was giving up on the crowbar because get too many flakes off it and the ground's getting too hard even for crowbars. So it's hammer and chisel jobs, which are somewhere here. Just using these sort of chisels. Stone is being detected. I'm bucketing it up and dumping it up on the surface up here. You'll see my ore pile. There's quite a few tons of stone there. It gets piled up in buckets on top of a board there, and then I detect it again and tip it down the side. That'll all get crushed at a later date. So I'm going to give you a bit of a look at this this face here, and then we'll have a look at some of the stone or the gold coming out. But before I do that, I'm going to dig. I've got a signal just down here, which you might not be able to see from up there, but there's a signal in the floor just there that gives a pretty decent sort of a signal. So I'll dig that out and then clean this up and see what we can find. So the signal that I was talking about is in there somewhere, but it's right in the corner, so I can't pinpoint it because it's kind of in the wedge. So I'm going to chisel that out. Hopefully it's not a shard of tool. Put my rather scratch safety glasses on. See if we can get that out. One thing in here that's really interesting is this clay. It's actually formed through movement in the rock, a lot of it. And you quite often get little nuggets in the clay in these sort of reefs. This is solid rock, solid hard rock we're talking here, as you could probably gather with the hardness of it. I'm going to put a glove on that hand. Little splinters can come off these chisels. A little bit of shrapnel is not much fun. You can see quite a lot of carbonates in here, which is also a good sign. Some of that lighter rusty stuff you might not be able to see from there so well, but that's weathered, decomposing, oxidizing, whatever you want to call it, siderite. So an iron carbonate mineral. In this particular reef, it's a really good indicator. That should do it. Some that somewhere. The metal on there. Might still be in there. Way to get your fingers cut to ribbons doing that. Problem is in here there's little bits of gold through a lot of this stone. It's really hard to separate it out sometimes, which is not a bad problem to have. I don't know if I got it out or not. I actually don't think I did. I don't think I got that out then. More chiselling. It's in there. Could be a little bit on the surface, but well, now on the surface, but I think it's still down there. Looking stone, very mineralised. One thing I will say about doing this too, if you're mining in reef, always wear a mask. The only reason I'm not now is because you won't be able to hear what I'm saying, but you need a mask because that quartz dust will slowly but surely kill you. Came out, but where'd it go? It's in that ironstone somewhere. Yeah, I've been chasing it all over the floor, but it's in that. There's my wedding ring. And one of these. I don't think they've all got gold in them. I have to crush all this lot. Damn it. Try that again, I dropped it. Okay, so that's that bit. That's that clay I was talking about before. Little veins of quartz through it. Somewhere in there is either a piece of a chisel or more likely a piece of gold. They can quite often have a significant amount of gold, little tiny flakes and bits in there. I just dropped that. One of those bits there. It's not normally quite this hard to find the little things. It's in that. Sometimes they're little flat flakes. If you turn them over on their side, you lose them. Nearly dropped it. Excuse the slobber. That has gold in it somewhere. Oh, there you go. It's a little nugget that's grown. Some of these are perfect crystals, tiny. I reckon there's quite a few of these in this, which is why I was having trouble pinpointing them. Some of these are absolutely perfect crystals because they've grown free in the clay. Disgusting, I know. I clean all that off before I sell it, believe me. Look at that. Yeah, that is a crystal. I'll clean that one up. See how sensitive these detectors are. So I reckon there's probably a heap of those in that clay down there. A little nest of them, and I stirred it up. That's what was a good signal, and then it became really hard to find. So I'm just going to clean all that up, and I might even pan it off and then crush it after that, see if I can find some little tiny crystals. Beautiful stuff. Right, I'm going to grab my bucket and sponge, bucket and brush, and give that a bit of a clean, and then I'll explain what I'm seeing in there. I'm also trying to work out exactly where the gold goes in this reef and where the richer patches are. So yeah, studying this structure is helpful for that, and hopefully get a whole stack more of that. Zoomed you down the hole, gave this a bit of a scrub using a minimum amount of water possible because yeah, the drier it is, the easier within reason in here. That's a little pocket where that gold just came from. There's more in there, so I'll dig that out in a minute. It's actually coming out of this this clay here, I think. So this is a reef structure. So at the bottom of the ladder there, that was a footwall. I assumed it was a solid footwall, but that's this seam here. This is slate. This is your quartz reef here. You can see bands of carbonates here. But in this footwall, this ironstone carbonate and quartz leader that runs right down there and then kind of becomes the reef. You can see that big chunk of really solid quartz. All this brown stuff here is solid quartz too. It's just there's ironstone, iron oxide filling in between. So the actual footwall of the reef, I'm not even actually sure 100% sure they're on it. So this structure comes in underneath here and joins. And then down here, there's this little flat leader that runs out to here, dips off that way. And it's either a tail that runs down there or it's another piece coming up to it. So really interesting. And these run off into the footwall here. There is a trace of gold in some of these. So they could lead to something else on the east, more of the structure. So it's really, really interesting looking stone. Now the gold tends to be in these sort of patches. So you've got this, basically footwall, false footwall on the slate and sandstone. Green slate, this stuff. That's too hard to flake a bit off. You've got these patches of carbonates and rusty iron. You can see it sort of runs down through there. So a lot of the patches that you've seen me dig on this video and will see me dig on this video, and the couple of videos before it, when I find a bit of gold and then there's more and another one, and a cluster of them, they're actually in these structures. So really interesting. The whole lot's probably more or less gold bearing, but it is really patchy. It's colourful, really heavily mineralised. It maybe 600-700 metres from here, there's another reef that's just all plain white quartz. Looks like basically like that. It's also gold bearing, so it varies hugely in the same area. So I just wanted to show you this stuff. I think this has a lot to do with gold mineralisation. I don't know really why I think that. That dipping in that direction, I suspect if I follow that, where that attaches itself to the reef or comes off the reef here and up here, I think I'll find quite a few more specimens in those sort of spots. But it's a lot of work to prove that, and that's what I'm going to do over the next few weeks and months. So I'll skip back a bit and show you some of the gold that I extracted getting down to this point. I've sort of been filming bits and pieces as I've been digging, and then at the end of that I'll show you the total finds out of this little spot, and then yeah, a lot of digging. By the time you see this video, a great deal of this stuff will have gone, and hopefully will only be a few weeks before the next video, which will be below where I'm sitting here, and hopefully lots and lots of gold. I started punching down here and very quickly got a signal here. Fair few, blowfly there. Fair few bits of iron shard, but I just got this piece of sandstone. And if we have a closer look in there, you can see the gold sticking out. It gives a really loud signal. There's gold chunks sticking out there. There's a little bit there, a little bit there. It's really hard to see on the camera. Can't see any of that side. Gives a screaming signal, which doesn't actually mean that much with a SDC, because they give a screaming signal on very small targets. So still on the way down here. Got pretty good signal in that rock. Oops. That just came from this little area here. So I'll be bringing him back up. Sound good. Give it focus on that. Can't see any gold in it. Yeah, that's another one to bring up, and clean up, crush. So I've got a bit of a iffy sort of signal there. It's not quite sure if it's a signal or not, the detector. I'll move that out of the road. This little fella down here sort of gives a signal. It's not going to now. Intermittently. I reckon there's lots of little shards of lots of little not shards, what do you call them? Pieces, particles, bits of gold through this ironstone patch. That's quartz and ironstone. Ironstone there, that's the edge of the reef there. Right, break it out. Hopefully show you some gold. So found a couple of bits of gold in a little patch there, so it's a good, a likely spot, what can we say. Doesn't seem to be any targets in any of that. Kicked it to the side somehow. Cool. It's obviously in that stuff somewhere. Finally got it in the mud. Can be handy sometimes, this sort of mud. Very much leaning towards this being a piece of iron, unfortunately. There it is. Oh, that was a lot of work chasing around a fresh bit of iron, but there's a tiny little bit of my crowbar. I've got another decent signal just in here. It's been breaking away, so this quartz lobus here, I've broken all this away and found a few nice pieces. Brought a couple up to the surface already. That gives a good signal. I did see a bit of gold there somewhere. Mostly covered in ironstone. And this tiny little piece, you can see gold there, sticking through there a bit. Probably hard to see on camera. And there were several other pieces up on the surface as well. But down here, hopefully you can see that on camera. Still a piece in the solid stone there. So some of the steel. Yeah, I'll stick that up there. I'm not showing all the pieces being dug out. It gets a bit boring. So, got a bit of movement in the quartz there. Once it starts jumping in an area, you know that area is loose. See it there? This area here is loosened. That ironstone there is a good indicator the gold will be in here somewhere. You often can't see it in the solid stone until it's been cleaned up. This noisy little machine in here. Okay, so it's in this stuff here. I think. What's it in there? What's in that? Moving around. There's a lot of EMI here today for some reason. That's odd. What's in that? Oh, that's loud. Can't see any gold in it. At least I can. No, it's not. So I've dug, I don't know, 1,000 or so specimens out of this mine, close to 1,000, over the last several years, out of this reef I should say, since I found it, and I still get really excited. Yeah, there's gold showing there, see? It's hard clay. Cool. I'll slobber on it a bit. Yep, just see a little bit of gold there. It's obviously a decent sized piece, because when you hear that, that's not bad at all. How's this piece I just pulled out? You can see the gold just in there. Pretty cool. I think I might hit it with the chisel. The chisel's come down here. But look at that. Nice signal. So yeah, pretty cool. Came out of this end again, just like that last couple of bits that I've pulled out. This patch of rust here, decomposed weathered ironstone. It's coming out of that. It's pretty common. I'd say it goes in that way and that way as well. But that'll wait till all this this side's come out. It'll be a I don't know, probably a month or so before I get into there, because otherwise all of this could come down on top of me, which is very bad for one's health. So I'm just going to show you how I go through this stuff. So I basically bucket up. There's about English is good. Bucket it up. I put it in a bucket. I cart it to the surface and I dump it here. There's about 20 kilos of quartz or ore, if you like, per bucket. Pile them up here. I normally put sort of 4 or 5 or 6, and then I detect over that, then tip it off the edge of the pile. All of this is going to be crushed at some point. It's just sitting here waiting to be carted and then and crushed. So basically I dump it up here, give it a quick swing over, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of pipping, and that might have been an electric fence, that bit. You get a lot of false signals because there's an electric fence just nearby. That's what I wanted to hear. Possibly 1, possibly 2 signals in there. I'll normally wear gloves for this too. That's the sort of sound you want a bit of quartz to make. So that, can't see any gold in it, but there is gold in that flake somewhere. Quite often you'll get like little flat, almost like they tried to be a crystal. They're like a little gold coin sitting in there, but that'll have to be broken up a little bit to find. It's probably in that area, I'd say. If it was the only piece. This has all been detected down the hole as well, so normally you get 1 or 2 bits that I've missed, but not normally a huge amount. And basically just tip it off the edge, keep swinging as I go. Doesn't matter if I miss little bits, so I'll get it all when I crush it. That's basically the process. So if you're mining reefs, this is a good way to do it, because if you get tiny little shards, they'll work their way down and they can't go past this board. It's annoying when you get a good clear signal and it disappears into your pile of quartz. I'll break up a few of these specimens that have come out on the way down. Some of these ironstony ones break really easily. There it is. Yeah. Both sides there. Gold running through there. Gold in that. And back in there. All this will get crushed, of course. So make sure there's no more in there. Fair bit of EMI, electrical interference here. This one sounds good. Can't see any gold in it at all. It's obviously a reasonable sized piece. Not in that bit though. Oh, there it is. Nice, gold there. Just under the surface that was. Another piece there. Piece there. Yeah, it's quite a bit in that. Very nice. There's any more in there. There'll be traces of gold, of course, in a lot of this. But yeah, it'll all go through the crusher. Yeah, that's a nice piece. Clean up into a really nice specimen. Carefully trim a few bits of quartz off there. Right there somewhere. Generally, oh, there we go. Preferentially breaks along with the gold is. Look at that, how shiny that is, like a little gold coin in there. You get a bit of gold like that out of here, it's going to be hard to trim, but if I can trim it by breaking this quartz up and away and expose, it'll be probably a flat. Oh, flat on one side and curved on the other piece of gold, almost like gold crystals. Some of them have crystal faces, it's nice. Good signal on that. I would have thought it was in that piece, but not. There they go. Pretty piece there. More in there. So yeah, that's it. Nice little chunk there. It's not uncommon to get several pieces of gold in one piece of quartz. Another piece. I only filmed a few of them. Great fun finding it. It's great watching it. That kind of gets a bit boring if you watch lots of them, I'd imagine. Get that a bit hard. It's a nice piece of gold though. Bright and sparkly. I'll give you a close up of all of these, obviously, down the track a little. Big chunk. It's in there, I reckon. Make sure we don't lose any bits of this one. I'll have to hit him a bit harder. Knock that coil that's giving a signal on this. If it sits still, it doesn't. Fixing that. I reckon it was a piece. It's always exciting when you get a big chunk of quartz. I knew there wasn't a big chunk of gold in it, but there's a bit. Piece in there. Okay. Whereabouts are you, gold? Can't see any in it. Some of it hides really well. Oh yeah, there's some mineralisation there. Be in that somewhere. Somewhere being right there, I think. No, I'll give it another tap. Probably turned into a nugget rather than a nice specimen, but no, there you go. It came up pretty well. Look at that. That's one of those little flat coin-like pieces I was just talking about. Flat that way. Yeah, flat that way and thin that way. Nice. There's probably another one in this. Bit of a slow way of doing it. You can just crush them up, but I like to extract the specimens. Obviously I sell specimens on my website. These will all be on the website. This one particularly takes my fancy, but I have a lot. I've found a lot over the years on this site, so pretty much sell all of these. Hiding in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Oh, nice. Yep, same sort of crystallisation. Really shiny. Look at that. Hopefully it shows okay on the camera. Yeah, it's got actual crystal faces there. Look at that. Beautiful. That is a gold crystal. Huh. Could be tempted to keep that one. It's really, really pretty. Beautiful shine. Looks like they've been polished. Never seen a light of day. It's hundreds of millions of years of existence, that piece of gold. Okay, so end results. There is some nice pieces in here. It's not going to be easy to focus on this in this light. Gold right through the end of that one there. There's some really pretty little bits in there. There's this gold crystal that came out. I might even do a few close-up photos of some of these. I'll stick them in the video just at the end of this. But yeah, every single piece in there has got gold in it, various sizes. That's what I just showed you. Nice chunk in there. This one's got a couple of different spots there's gold sticking out. So beautiful stuff. Very, very happy with this. All fairly small. Well, a lot of them are tiny, but as I often say, gold is gold. And there are some really, really nice little pieces in there. So not bad results. Hopefully, once I get down the next sort of 3.5 meters across to the west there will be quite a lot more gold coming out. Hopefully in the ounces rather than the grams this time around, but fingers crossed. So thanks for watching, folks. I will stick a few photos at the end of this, so if you want to have a closer look, you can see some of these in close-up photos. This gold, most of it at least, will be on the website, so it'll be listed over the next few weeks. There's always bits and pieces being listed up there. They don't stay around for very long. They tend to get snapped up. I very much appreciate the support as well. So thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching and subscribing. And I will be back with a lot more very, very soon.